You ever met someone that you wanted to hate at first, but no matter how hard you tried to find a reason to dislike them, you just couldn't make yourself do it? That's exactly the feeling I had with today's character, Mamoru. Mamoru is a star athlete who you meet through being on the track team and competing in a summer competition. Him being a star athlete leads for him to represent the Star Arcana as well. Very clever, Atlas. At first glance, you might just write Mamoru off as a cocky athlete who thinks he's better than everyone else, and he kinda is, but let's dive a little deeper into it. In this video, I'll be rating his social link using the 3 different categories: likability, relatability, and the social link story. Before we get into the first category, I'm going to ask that you like the video and subscribe to the channel, or I'm going to send the Gourmet King to your house to offer you a spot in paradise for 132,000 yen, and if you deny him, he's going to berate you in public. Also, a quick warning, there will be spoilers for the social link in the video, so click off now if you don't want to be spoiled. So jumping right into our first category, likability. Overall, I'd say Mamoru is a pretty likable character. He starts off a little rough, kind of giving off the asshole, ultra competitive jock who thinks he's got to be better than everyone else vibe. But as you get to know him more, you learn why he's that way and what drives his competitive nature. His father died and it left his mother with 5 kids to raise, Mamoru being the oldest, so naturally that meant he had to take care of his siblings. Also, he wanted to do his very best at sports so that way he could maybe get a scholarship and actually be able to afford to go to college. Once you get farther into his social link, you start to sympathize with him a lot more, and he also kind of realizes that his arrogant attitude makes him a worse person, and he comes down to earth a little more. He eventually decides that he's not going to college and instead finds a job so that he can support his family. Ultimately, he's a pretty commendable guy, and I think he's a pretty good character. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for the likability category. Well, the relatability category is a little tough for me to judge. This social link, like most of the game's social links, involves someone dealing with grief, and if I'm being honest, I can relate to Mamoru with using my grieving as a way to drive myself to improve. So I get him in that aspect, and that's definitely something I can relate to heavily. The other side of his social link, however, which is him having to take care of his younger siblings, is something I can't really relate to since I was the youngest in the family, and I was lucky enough to have amazing parents who were able to provide for us. I do, however, understand that not everyone is as fortunate as I was, and there are probably a good amount of people who can relate to him in this aspect as well. Overall, since I could somewhat relate to him and I could understand where other people could as well, I'm giving him another 8 out of 10. And for our final category, we have the social link story. I covered a lot of the story for this one already, and it was pretty good. I want to use this segment to say though that I don't really understand this whole reasoning behind him leaving his family. I mean, if he was going to go get a job to support them, couldn't he have just found a job in Iwatodai? The game tries to explain this by having him tell you that his dad had connections at a car factory out west, and that he's going to move to a dorm there and work. I just don't really understand it. Maybe this is me digging too deep, but I just personally feel like he could have found a job closer to home that was just as good. Anyways, since I thought the story overall was pretty good, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Well guys, if I'm being honest, I haven't really seen a ton of opinions on this social link online. If I'm being completely honest, I kind of forgot that Mamoru even existed between my 2 playthroughs of the game, but that's probably just because they were 5 years apart. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe everyone forgot about Mamoru. Overall, he's done pretty well for himself though, especially considering the fact that he was somebody I forgot about. I mean, he scored a 23 out of 30. That actually ties him with Yuko as the highest scoring social link that we've reviewed thus far. I want to know you guys' opinions on the Mamoru social link down below. Also, if you have a video request from me, then feel free to drop it down below as well. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.